Good evening, scalpers. Good evening, and welcome to a late night end of New York session analysis chat, scalping. We're going to be looking to trade the oil in about 20 minutes time or so. That's the plan. The old API going to be coming out. You see on our calendar here, 21 minutes time. And as we know with API, it's the usual higher than expected figure is negative for the dollar, but good for oil. So remember that, depending on what you're trading. If you're trading, this is going to be a better than expected figure than the consensus for last month. So obviously, if you're looking to trade the dollar, you're going to be going in the positive direction, and it'll be reverse for us trading WTI, which, as you can see, we've got here on our chart, 3-minute chart.
Significantly lower when we take a look at excluding fuel and excluding energy, food. That's expected to come in at
which we use. We're all set up, and oil has had a nice little pullback today, getting up to that $73 for hitting heavy resistance.
We should, food and energy. Filling up your gas tank is only part of the energy story here. Correct. Right. Heating your home.
Watching Bloomberg as well, just keep an eye on it. You can see oil there. Look.
Goods and services to you. If everyone's paying more for getting those goods to you, then you're going to be paying more in return.
71.68. And we're 71.90. Different trading view spreads. We're in the ballpark.
Close enough for government work.
Yes.
Let's head to Washington, D.C. for a check of the latest world and national news. Nancy Lyons.
We could have got, actually, just watching oil, we could have got a couple of nice sells. It came up really well. There's a few nice buys, entry points on our RSI. 1, 2, 3, 4 buys in this bull run here. No trades around here because you're in the neutral zone, and then you had a couple of nice sells once it broke the trend line. 1, 2, then 3. Basically, there was 7 trades you could have done on oil already. Just going to set up broker, make sure we're on gold 30. Well, we had a good session earlier on, which was really good. That was successful day, which we ended up doing around about 26-27 trades from London Open up until and about 5:30 my time, so a full day of scalping, which was surprising considering the volatility at the moment, the news, obviously the COVID, the Omicron news as well, all that affecting the markets. But we got in on trading the balance of trade, and that created enough volatility actually to help get the reverse trades before the market opened and out before, and then in the direction once the market had actually opened. You see here, US-30 is the open. Nice run up, ranged a little bit, trapped between our zone for a while. Look, as you can see, here's our breakout zones, top and bottom, and then we had a nice little sell here, a re-entry with the RSI. So even this, you could have had a couple of nice sells. Look, one here, you've got a little buy there. You might have got a buy there, but you sat right on the trend line and points of interest, so that would have been a quick in and out. And same again here. These are real risky little scalps, but can be taken. And then you would have nipped in here on the RSI crossing out. We've got some pips down to our breakout, and then once you see it hit that oversold zone, here's where you can get the bigger trade. And then we saw the pullback out of the zone. Could have gone aggressive and green as soon as it goes green inside the neutral zone if you're that kind of trader, and take your profit once it hits the KG baseline. You can wait and then enter once it breaks our zone, and you could have got a nice buy to the trend line. Then you could have gone again once it broke the trend line to our next points of interest. So there's possibly 3 or 4 trades just in this little move here. I wasn't trading it, obviously I was eating. Got to eat sometime as a trader, as much as I suffer from FOMO like the next person. You know, you can't trade everything and you don't want to. So yeah, we'll see how the market progresses. It's now the dead zone, as they call it. I'm watching a bit of the Bloomberg after hours kind of thing. You get a reflection on the day, what might be happening in the head, talking about Bitcoin as well, which is obviously, you know, at least pulled back to 50,000 now, taking a massive dip. It's up, as it says, 600. All this stuff is good to take in and listen to, and I've been a fundamental trader.
Then up to 62,000, and they started taking profits.
There, where did it get to? What did it get to? 67,000, I think. 67.
Yeah, I think 62. It caught resistance. 65. It caught resistance. I believe 7. It caught a little bit.
Let's look. Usually with Bitcoin, I'll pick it on the 50-minute time frame. Our Axe system. To say, you know, if anyone wants information on how to get access to our trading system and our mentorship and how we trade, it's www.mohawkforex.com. All the information is in the description of the YouTube channel below. Well, cryptos, we do cryptos, but we tend to do them on a bigger time frame. Everything else tends to be on the 3-minute time frame, but with crypto we'll look at Bitcoin on a 15-minute to 1 hour. Here, big drop. Looking at massive crash. I mean, that was a low of 42,000 where everyone started to panic. Then suddenly, woof, big pushback, consolidation period. Now we're hoping to move back up again. Typical crypto Bitcoin move. You know, it's consolidated for a while before it gets a move. Consolidates for a while before it gets a move. You know. If you believe in your bigger patterns, like again, look, consolidation, move, consolidation, move, consolidation, move, consolidation, move. So easy to follow. You just want to make sure you're on the right side of these moves, obviously. But our points of interest chart gives you an idea of what you're looking at. Just a quick look at Bitcoin. You can see here you could have got a cheeky little sell. Again, on the RSI entry, I'm always looking for 20,000 points plus, 40,000 points. Look on Trading View, you could have grabbed on that. And obviously now we're looking to take buys. Primarily we try and buy rather than sell. Obviously we should wait for the trigger point to be an accurate buy, and obviously that would involve the RSI crossing into neutral, crossing our average line, breaking out at the same time. Price action breaking above our baseline and this resistance zone, and then we're away to our next breakout zone here. Look, so yeah, so if you took the trade kind of from here to there, you're still looking at 60,000. So this May would be my next TP level. I'm going to enter a buy once we get a break on that zone. So basically got to hold fire, because you don't know this is going to hit and reverse and come down even more. Obviously it could do, but looking at how it's fought that big sell-off and pulled back, I would wait confirmation and scalp this gap here. And then obviously after that we're looking at the next heavy resistance level where we could get some more consolidation, or we're hoping that price breaks back up again. So just a case of sitting on your hands at the moment. Obviously there's a lot of people would be buying this kind of little dip from the pullback. See, it's some kind of W pattern. Look, see here, look, 1, 2, away she goes. Kind of trying to form a head and shoulders, but see there, hence the dip down. seeing how secure this support zone is. It could come back down to our neutral zone, in which case this is where you'll be taking buys. So this is one to watch as the RSI creeps in. Look at the lines again.
Shares are plunging after hours. Its second quarter net revenue forecast missed estimates. It sees second quarter net revenue in the range of 505 to 520 million. Estimates had been for 585 million, but again, Stitch Fix plunging after hours, down now by 20%. Stocks had the biggest rally in 9 months. Major averages did rally today on optimism. The Omicron variant will not derail global growth. Today we had the S&P up 95.1%.
There you go.
The Dow up 492, up 1.4%. Nasdaq rallied 461 points. That was a gain of...
The market's reacting to Omicron by saying 2 fingers up to Omicron, basically.
Spot gold up 0.3%, 1784 the ounce. West Texas Intermediate crude up 3.2%.
You see, these are like overbought zones for us, which is great because we're expecting pullbacks. See here, look.
All right, Charlie. Well, she is definitely in the room where it all happens. The comings and goings of the financial titans that we report on regularly.
If US-30 creeps to our 75 zone, we're going to be taking a buy.
At an event honoring Goldman Sachs.
See,
Stephanie Cohen and also just
194 points. There's a chance here for a cheeky buy. I mean, this is kind of no man's land for me. You know, these are where the trades are risky because you haven't had that momentum of break. Price can dip up, can dip down. I know I've got a little extra push if it reaches this level, same as when it breaks out of the neutral zone, but when the RSI is around this zone, it is very, very risky.
Was it Monday night? Oh,
You need to get in on the breaks.
It's only Tuesday, Lemon.
Sorry.
I gotta tell you, I have a few events lined up for the week still. So Monday night definitely
Okay, but you
kicked off the week with a bang.
You still get to have fun at these.
Well, I do.
Latest news,
especially,
investing.com.
in the context of the pandemic, this event has
So we're hearing everything's been rallying. Apple's at a new record high. Tech's been driving everything.
like, would he fit into the suit for this event?
There you go. Oil tracks another 4%. There's caution over Omicron abandoned. So the markets are kind of like ignoring,
Back to these events.
cracking on now.
Actually touches on
There's been some news against the vaccines on it as well.
hang out with the New Yorkers who have been most hit by COVID and who have needs like job assistance,
These are the things to watch.
food on the table, and generally the
Soup. We should have been trading soup, not gold. Soup.
people who've done well during the pandemic. I feel like these galas in New York
There you got the JOLTS news we have tomorrow as well.
and culture and society
And Amazon.
people can express some empathy and
So 3 things tomorrow. Into trading stocks.
with a lot of different
See a couple of things to look at there. It's always good get a bit of a heads up if you actually read on investing.com.
For a long time, there were no holiday parties, office parties.
We've got 8 minutes to go.
A lot of people obviously got hurt during the
Or the crude oil comes out. Well, like I say, it's a pretty easy one for us because we'll just go in the direction, the green or the red for trading oil, and the US dollar it's the opposite way. Yeah. Again, none of these are 100% winners, and if it goes the opposite way, we'll just end the trade. We've had a really good day. We can afford take some drawdown and end in a loss if that happens. Hopefully not, and it all depends how big the result is. Away, this is quite a severe, minus 747 million barrels to 2 million barrels. Obviously, needs to be nice to be 2.1 and above. If it's below, could be dodgy. If it's under 2, but we'll see what the result is. And then for those of you who trade the Asian session, like we do sometimes, we do setups for the Asian. Got the GDP for these markets coming up as well. Later on. Here's tomorrow's news. Nice and smooth, not an awful lot. We don't really do any of this. We don't really look at the speeches. We'll avoid trading. Not that I trade the euro anyway. And then we've got the JOLTS at 3. This is the one I'm trying to do a live stream for as well. Either like just before the US Open, New York Open. This is half an hour after. And then we've got the EAI crude oil weekly. both
you know, the fact that
crude oil stock change news, two different
hotel ballroom
companies, so
we're happy to have jobs. We've talked about
one to look at tomorrow.
they're always wearing masks and guests maybe aren't because they're eating and drinking. And I asked someone there who was serving those ice cream pops, by the way, how he felt about it. And, you know, he said he's happy to be working and he doesn't mind at all. And when he's at a party, he takes his mask off. So.
Well, can I just read one quote, though, from Lloyd Blankfein? At the risk of being provocative and sounding tone deaf, I had a pretty good pandemic, and most of my friends who live in the same bubble as me had a pretty good pandemic, too, he said. But what about the rest of the world? So, and I feel like it mirrors what we talked about, Thomas Piketty.
Yeah.
Piketty. You know, just the incredible gaps there. The financial community did really well during the pandemic, and others did too, and the wealthier got wealthier, and those that are suffering really have had a tough time and continue. And this is an organization that really acknowledges and tries to help out those that are having a tough time.
Yes, we know that the world has changed because of COVID, and COVID might be around for a while, but with, you know, people have always done well on Wall Street, and cycles are up and down. I think that there is a imperative kind of running through the events that I'm going to, and I heard it at Robinhood too.
Yeah.
Which is a similar framework where they support hundreds of nonprofits. That if you've done well, you know, you really should make an effort to give back.
What were COVID protocols last night, and in general, how would you describe how COVID protocols have been?
So there's been a lot of confidence in the double vaccination and booster setup. And masking indoors, but taking your mask off only for eating and drinking. And that was the protocol.
There's a lot. The pictures though show a lot of people without masks.
That's why I said whoa.
Just gonna say.
Wasn't it dinner?
Well, you can see, look,
It was a cocktail party where they were
be a
serving.
nice buy if it's good news. Look at that, bang. I'm just going to go in for 100 points again. That's all we tend to do. 219 to our inside of our breakout zone. Because it was in our zone, broke out, got the sales, pulled back of the trend line. So now, depending on this news, if we get the momentum, we'll see if the RSI pushes up.
And you have to wear a mask at least
It'll be good.
while you're walking from one place to another. That has somehow given people
We've got 4 minutes to go, so it's getting ready. And again,
in the room.
you're trading the dollar US-30. Could be a case of going in reverse. There's a bit of a no man's land. The RSI's flattened out. Obviously, the markets are shut now.
Waters off Panama's coast is the world's most advanced aquaculture project, specializing in
But sometimes this dead zone is a good
Open Blue represents Panama's
thing to trade, you know.
strategy
You can
that supports development that doesn't encroach
use
on
MyFX
biodiversity,
book like I do. You can
conservation and creation of jobs that uplift everyone.
We invite private capital to help us
In.
create a more sustainable and inclusive economy.
see we're well overbought. I like these zones here, look. We might get some pullbacks in the Asian session on all these. Might be slow, but these are all new highs. See here, look, you've got 32 minutes overall for the market, post-market closes. And we've got Sydney opening at the same time, so kind of a dead zone, but there is still trading going on. That's what we're waiting for. API, 2 minutes to go. And the oil. Before if it's good news. So it's bad news, and obviously we are coming down. This kind. There, look, you've got flat. AG line, and again I'm only looking for 100 points, so yeah, perfect. Sell, if it's a buy, be up, yeah, got 2 zones, it doesn't matter which one. Okay, countdown has begun.
Let's get ready to rumble.
After all that, there'll be no trade. Yeah, yeah. You never know. They tend to use a small lot size. It's like 5, which is 0.5. It's a small margin, 270. It's not a big margin required to trade oil. You've got the spreads to take into consideration, slightly bigger than everything else, but again, if you get the move, well covered within it. So on my broker it's $5 a pip, so get 100 points, that's 10 pips, you know, $50. Perfect, nice little trade. You know, it's all, you know, you're not going to get a millionaire, you don't want to be on one trade, you know, so we're in and out, just getting the push with the news. Here we go, let's see, we'll stick on the result and see while we have a look which way we're going to go. We're going to get our final win of the day. Go 9-3. And it's slow moves as well, that's the other thing you got to think about. It's not a quick.
Slow and steady.
Going to be good news. Go with the pattern. Be nice if it is. See, it's dipping down a little bit. Look, fresh. Be different. Been released yet? Zoom in to see. Look, just a little dip. Coming back. It's not doing anything yet, you see. No, you don't get any big spikes or anything like that. Into me coffee. Late night coffee. Oh. Are we going to get a result? Are we going to get a result? You can see it's ranging at the moment. Dipping down to our neutral. If it's good news, we want to get back up.
Broadcasting live from the Bloomberg Interactive Broker Studio in New York. Bloomberg 1130 to Washington, D.C. Bloomberg 99.1 to Boston. Bloomberg 1061 to San Francisco. Bloomberg 960 to
We're going to get a result or not?
and around the globe. The Bloomberg Business app and BloombergRadio.com. This is Bloomberg Business Week.
You are listening to Bloomberg Business Week. Carol Master along with Tim Stanovic in our Interactive Broker studio. We've got a pretty cool guest coming up.
We do, Jane O.
No trade yet. Look at that, nothing's happening. You see, no trades. It's not like you're missing out. Like sometimes the news result will be, you know, quick and something spikes before you get a chance to enter a trade.
No pressure.
It's not released it yet.
She's with us in the studio too, which is a very big deal.
By counting the barrels again.
In the meantime, and haven't ended up here. So
No surprise there.
Oh, miscount, count again. What number? 1, 2. Back
Oops,
with you.
start over.
We'll get to 2 million. Oh.
Clothing subscription companies for second quarter revenue came in
maybe there is no trade after all this. That's sort of what happens sometimes. This is why I like it. It's just the unpredictability of everything. But it's dipping down, so it could be its worst news, but it's not. Still plenty of room, look. We're not late to a trade or anything. Weird, it's taking its time, isn't it? But there's nothing.
We're watching closely that meeting next week on the 14th and 15th because, you know, we do have to take Powell's word for it. You know, he is going to eliminate the word transitory finally, and that, you know, inflation is here.
10-year yield 1.48%, gold up 0.3%, 17.84 the ounce. West Texas Intermediate crude.
Even on investing.com, there's no result yet. They've not printed anything.
The Dow up 492 today, up 1.4%. Nasdaq up 461, a gain there of 3%.
Not printed yet.
Iconic 11 herbs and spices fire log. That is correct. It's fire log back again this holiday season. On sale exclusively at Walmart. KFC says it has an enhanced extra crispy scent created to fill your home with the aroma of its world famous fried chicken. Shares today of Yum Brands, parent of KFC, up 1.9%, and that
It's at the dip, look, you see, but again, it's forming like a nice W, if anything. Would be really cool.
Update, Charlie Pellet. Well, we talk a lot about the tightening labor market, the JOLTS survey, of course, and the way that people are thinking about the Great Resignation.
Must be a recount. They're going to be counting them again.
Not surprised.
I never known it take this long. Like I say, it's not on.
We've got a perfect guest. She is the president of Working Jane Oates, former U.S. Department of Labor official. She served as Assistant Secretary for the Employment and Training Administration during the Obama administration. She also was a former teacher, and she joins us in our studio. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Carol. Nice to be here.
Well, it's great to have you here, and you guys are
Nothing on Forex Factory. There we go. Here we go. Better than expected. Here we go.
Ways to figure out their labor needs, or make sure that they are current in terms of what are the labor needs of today. Tell us.
And we're going to get. It's going to be a slow result.
Because there are so many different conversations that are going on about the labor force. Tim's right. Great
Typically, whenever they're released this late in the day, they always move a little slower.
Yeah, but it's a good trade. You can put a stop loss in, and
So, look, I think you have to
know,
have a Great Resignation and remember that people are examining their lives. They're
like I say, for me,
balance, but also
100 points on TradingView is 10 pips. So that's all we're looking for.
4.4 million people in the last JOLTS report
You know, and you can always hold longer with it being a slow moving thing. In the general direction, the buy's pretty good. I mean, it's going to sell off first. Look, the neutral zone's going to break, but you're going to get a bounce on here, so it could be one we hold. My stop loss is going to be here, below the neutral support zone anyway. You can see that nice pattern forming. So, you know, don't expect a result in 30 seconds like we do trading other news events, but that's why these are good news events to learn how to trade them. Might get a bounce off here, off our KG line, look. Obviously, that's the kind of thing we're looking at. Ideally, we want back to our breakout zone there. On the bigger picture, we could see this in Asian session. So,
in a sense, we're going to see turnover be high because of that.
yeah, as soon as we get some profit, we can just end the trade. It's as simple as you know. There's no hard set fast rules on how much you should actually get. I try and hold for 10 pips, 5 to 10 pips. That's just my style. You can use the grid system for that if you want to hold longer. Some trades, as soon as I get some green, I just take the profit. You know, I don't do anything kind of really preset, apart from I always try and go for 50 to 100. That's about as preset as I get, but even that is not set in stone. If I'm looking at price action and thinking it's not going to get there, or you know, then I'll end the trade. You know, I'll get out. I'm not just sat here going I must get 100 pips or else I'm just going to blow my account. I'm sensible with it. If things are going my way, I'll hold for a minimum of that. If things aren't going my way, if it flashes green, I'll get in and out. You know, that's just how you've got to be as a trader. You've got to be flexible. You've got to read the market. You can't just be preset like so many people teach you to be with trading. Market owes you nothing. Said that. We've got to try and make it.
And then the pandemic hit, and they're just like, I'm done. I've got investments. I've got a pension if they're lucky.
The market's done pretty well.
Market's done really well, right?
This could be a nice, nice pattern. Whether you decide to wait for this to pull back, get your profit here, get your profit here, or catch this big second leg if it happens. Totally up to you. But it's good to watch it, especially live, and see how price moves at this time of night in the dead zone. These are nice, steadier trades to try and take.
Where money isn't an issue, they can work for less dollars.
Well, and we've also talked about, and I've been working on something.
So if we're going
where it's women
long,
who are also starting their businesses. We're seeing, first of all, entrepreneurship.
That's where kind of hang on there. Look pretty much where you want to be. Want to try and go for the bigger hold. We heard oil's on its way back. If you take the fundamentals into consideration, oil is pushing back up again. So, you could easily get this. I'm not saying this is how you should do it. Just a lot of people like using this risk reward thing on TradingView. So, what you could be looking at, you might have to wait. During Asian session.
Schedule in the corporate world, and they're going to go out and help other people, and they're going to make a lot of money doing it.
So we've set this in motion. We'll leave that. Let's just have a quick look at US-30. How did that respond? Nothing, you see. The news. Print that was obviously quite a bit better than expected.
Fold in your kids' calendars, right?
And
like
fold it all in.
little league practices and play dates.
Right. This is all part of our lives. Sit tight. We're going to come back with Jane Owens, President of Working Nation, former Assistant Secretary of Employment and Training during the Obama administration. Continue our conversation.
In the meantime, let's head to Washington, D.C. for a check of the latest world and national news. Nancy Lyons is standing by in our 99 newsroom. Hey, Nance.
Thanks, Tim.
Like I say, you don't even have to get in on the trade straight away. This is the good thing about this. You can say, okay, I'm looking for buyers. The momentum is to the upside. I'll wait for the RSI to come out the green zone, and then it just gives you more confidence to take the trade. The trade's not going to be over as soon as RSI comes outside neutral and pop back down again, because you're looking at the structure of the pattern starters. You take into consideration the fundamentals of oil, that it's had a pullback already and wants to take a bounce back, and then you've got the news event as well. So if you're risk-off trader, then you could just wait for the RSI to go green like it did here. Look, and then you would have caught 100 points, 10 pips, nice and easy to that trend line. So you could do the same again. You don't have to instantly get in on the news release like I do most of the time. You can wait for the RSI to confirm it out. And here, look, we're in the neutral zone, so we're not really doing anything at the moment. We're breaking even, we're on everything, so this is one to leave, so to show you how some news events don't just fly and spike everywhere. They're just steady movers. It goes red even. You could look to take a sell. While you're holding a buy, there's no reason why you can't look to take a sell. Again, 90, but we know the pattern it's forming. Most it's going to come back to is down to here. Here we go, look. Doing.
Powered by more than 2,700 journalists and analysts in more than 120 countries. I'm Nancy Lyons.
And these are, if you take these trades, they're kind of flash trades. RSI's just gone red, look, so you can flash in and out on these ones, or it pulls back. Probably going to go down here, look. Maybe get 5 pips on this.
And then we'll do some more news and come back and talk some more, Jane. But education, it has been supposed to be the great leveler, right? The great opportunity for so many. But I think increasingly it's safe to say that education has gotten so expensive that it once again is kind of helping to widen the gap.
Yeah, look, 65 pips.
Provide scholarships and so on and so forth.
There's our KG line where it'll probably bounce off.
You're a teacher, like you understand the importance of education. How do we need to maybe disrupt education, and maybe at all levels? But I'm also thinking at the higher, education level.
Well, I think all education, post-secondary education.
Minutes to go on this candle. There's this candle is the crucial one.
The public is starting to vote with their feet. I think the answer is embedding industry recognition credentials skills into academics, not anymore making it an either or, but saying you need to have digital skills, whether you're a poetry major or a comparative religion major, you need to have digital skills. So let's embed those credentials into your academic curriculum.
What role does the government need to have when it comes to paying for higher education?
Well, they need to, in the K-12 space, they need to keep up with special education IDEA funding, and they need to continue funding low-income kids through Title I. In post-secondary education, they have always really just done Pell Grants and amazing help to the poorest, you know, to make sure that education at any level is more affordable. I think they may need to put a little bit more money into institutional aid. Right now, because so many institutions, particularly smaller institutions, rural institutions, tribal colleges, HBCUs, they really got hit. They're tuition dependent. Most of them don't have large endowments like the schools.
Doing much at the moment. Still good to watch, good to analyse.
She's president of Working Nation, former assistant.
Size 42, it gets to 41. Yeah, you know, you can take some profit. Just micro scalping this time of night. Let's watch it. Here, US-30. Remember, the result was better than expected. So on US-30, you know, you might have been popping a sell in, but it hasn't really done anything. It's still in that zone, danger zone. So I try and avoid oil on the US-30, and then, you know, have a look at gold. See what the CAD pairs, CAD JPY, are pretty good for trading oil. News events on as well. Gold, as you see, look, there was the result. So, you know, sold underneath, it's bounced again. Good figure, usually me gold might be a buy. Worse for the dollar. Again, it hasn't really doesn't work like that, you know. That's why I just try and stick with the oil itself. Yeah, this I have to do with trading fundamentals, is figure out what moves where and if it correlates or not, and then you just back test it and go, okay, no, leave that one alone, don't trade that, don't trade that. You pick the right things to trade with the right news events, obviously. It's not as simple as just picking anything that's got the dollar in it, anything that's got the pound in it, or any indices. And that comes with back testing, demo practice, in practice. You know. You can see we're just in a little range here on oil. That's totally fine. Next news is, like I say, is for the JP. Why the yen? Check. Nothing else.
You got JPY and it's hitting right after Sydney Open.
Yes. There's crypto at the moment for those of you.
More.
There you go. That's crypto at the moment.
That doesn't tell you we got a bear crypto market. Nothing should.
That's why I like this. This is really good. They give you a snapshot. It's a good website. DOGE, look. You get all the information you want. Still not bad for the year. But yeah, 17. I mean, we bought this at 5 cents, so I'm still well in profit. I'm not doing anything with this other than holding it. That's it, simple as. ICP is the one I took the biggest loss on this year. This is the thing I lost the most money on. Complete scam. BTC, as we see. The cap is now under $1 trillion. People have sold off. BTT,
Headlines and breaking news 24 hours a
P,
day. Bloomberg.com, the Bloomberg Business app, and at Bloomberg Quick Take. This is a Bloomberg Business Flash.
if someone says you're in a bear market or bull market, or you for crypto, just check this. Bitcoin's pretty good as well. I was mad that I sold this though. I bought this at $7. I sold it at like 10. But there you go.
Stitch Fix shares plunging 17% right now after the clothing.
Let's have a look. Oil. There we go. Look, pushing up.
Second quarter revenue came in below.
Had that little drop. Now pushing on up.
Stitch Fix shares down now by just about 17%.
RSI creeping back into the zone, you see. So
Rally in 9 months, major averages climbing today on optimism that the Omicron variant will not derail global growth. S&P up 95, up 2%.
Omicron been defeated by the stock markets.
1.4%. Stack up 461. That was a gain of 4%. Tenured on 13.30 seconds. 10-year yield 1.47%.
So now we're back in profit again.
17.84 the ounce. And West Texas Intermediate crude rallied 3.2%.
We're just going to go green. If it gets to where it was here, look, then this is where we'll end the trade. If RSI hits 59.
Get back to our guest. Jane Oates is with us, president of Working Nation. She's former assistant secretary.
Nice how it followed it. Let's hope this is the start of this leg. You see. And then we can take profit at the trend line. And then if it breaks the trend line, we can carry on up to the next TP. You know, that's how you do it.
Does it make sense that they're $80,000, $90,000 a year? And I know there's great educational institutions out there, but holy moly.
I know
It's good. It's almost like what we do in the day, but in slow motion.
Yep.
I appreciate academia.
That's why a lot of people are fans of trading the Asian session, is because it moves quite a bit slower.
Yeah, it's good for practicing. It is good for practicing, you know, but you got to do a lot of waiting, a lot of drinking coffee.
Who I feel like is
Yep.
tough.
Well, I think
And
the
maybe
middle
miss out.
class. Yeah, I think the middle class is getting frozen out of college. You know, they can't really. The Pell Grant isn't there for them. They make a little bit too much money, or they don't have enough kids.
Right.
And they can't. They're not the A+ student in the class, so they're not getting academic or sports scholarships. They're caught with nothing. So
And that's another thing. There's lots of sports scholarships. Forgive me, but there's not a lot of academic scholarships anymore. Which is like, what?
Yeah, it's really hard. I think, look, if you're going to go to a research one, a lot of the money from that institution has to go into doing research. And thank God for that, right? I mean, that's why we have the vaccines that we have. It's why we have the health improvements we have. It's why we have the new industry standards that we have, quite frankly. But I think, you know, the tier below research one has kept up with the research one in terms of tuition. And I think the public is now saying why. I mean, they're great employers. Colleges.
I'm actually having a decaf coffee as well.
Faculty, which they do, and have great.
Should be next time we'll do a late night one. We'll do a real. We'll have a real coffee.
Sadly, it breaks my heart to see this not be able to make it. They made it through the pandemic because the administration gave them money.
We can have a look at. We can have a look at the Asian setups as well. In a minute. While we let this fly. Won't get till 10 p.m. my time. I like to dip in too early.
We got about 9 minutes to dead gap.
Yes. And then it's Aussie session.
Look, I think that's valid, but
Sydney Open.
only 10% of the colleges have an endowment like you're talking
Trying to push up, look. So we'll leave that running.
leagues, the great, you know, state flagships and things like that. The majority of people go
So let's have a look. Have a look at the Aussie 200 actually.
where they're getting great
Set up my
educations.
broke.
What they have to do is start to parlay that into something connected with work, so that middle class kids go there and say, "Here's what I'm going to spend. I hope it's not 80,000, but if it's going to be 50,000 at the very least, what's my ROI? What am I going to get in terms
Return
of
on
a connection?
investment.
What's my return on investment? You know, am I getting attachment to an employer? Am I getting a paid internship? Even if it's something that's not paid, like I want to go into, like I did, policy. I'd like to get an internship on the Hill. Is the school helping me make that kind of connection? Then that's a return on investment.
So what's the best way for somebody who perhaps is in college right now or will be graduating soon to think about how they can find something or study something that will be applicable to them throughout their careers?
Well, I would say anybody should put a
Alright.
minor in something like data analytics, something to give them data visualization. They don't have to major in it if they don't want to, but they need to get familiar with it. And really, I
Look.
can't say enough. They should be out there getting
Aussie 200.
people at the college.
Under pressure. Looks like it's going to range. Looks like it might want to drop more than anything.
They can't really help them.
Let's have a look.
The world of work. They need to get out there and figure
On oil. Let this one run. Let's just
specifically in terms of
look to the Aussie 200. Let's have a look.
we have the right workforce for the future demands.
I think there's
EPs actually, this is not far off where we
I'll pivot from what I was just
want to
saying,
be.
so you should
Let's have a look.
at internships. I can't believe the
It's 7145 dropping down to
companies that have
the bigger time frames.
We have a great internship program.
I was
Wanna
just-
be
I was
just-
gonna say, how many interns does Bloomberg have? He's always been about this. But Lockheed Martin,
It's like
and
and the-
Lockheed Martin, when Wes
our
Bush was
baseline.
there, he's been gone about 18 months now. But I mean, when he was there,
This
they
is
said
that.
about 80% of their new hires came from their intern pool. That's a really good thing for kids to know.
Go back.
But I think I think of other businesses. You probably had Nick Pinchuk on from Snap-on. Snap-on has been great in the lower end careers, kind of the blue collar skilled trades kinds of things. He pays for material at colleges. He put together a program called NC3 that has a training program for the community.
Looking for a cell.
Doing automotive, so that it's
See here, we've got a
across every college.
zone there, zone
What about
here.
the
So
folks
I think that
I say this as a parent, like to my daughter, I'm like, you want to come back and live in New York City? It's an expensive place to live. You've grown up a certain way. You like you need to think about your
Yeah.
income. And I hate to
it's
say
about
this,
800
do
points.
something I love, and things have worked out pretty nicely. But what's the responsibility to companies to make sure that they have a future workforce and provide internships, but also pay more than a living wage? Like, where are we on that?
I think we still have a lot of work to do there. I mean, I think entry level.
But why not share the wealth?
Well, I agree with that. But I mean, I think a lot of people see entry level workers as expendable. There's big name companies that have come out and said, we think we get everything out of a worker in 3 years. So if they want to leave, no loss to us. That is really and you notice I'm not naming it on your show. But I mean, if
you could see the bubble above my head.
I think everybody knows what you're talking about.
Anyway, go ahead.
But if they would invest in people, give them the money up front. I mean, the COVID experience of people getting signing bonuses, don't give me a signing bonus. Give me a step up in salary.
Give me a commitment too.
Yeah.
Spread it's 738.
What about labor unions? How does that fit into the conversation that we're having right now?
Well, full disclosure, I'm a big proponent of organizing.
Three.
When I was a teacher, I was a member of AFT. I think they give workers voice. And people only notice labor unions when there's a strike. And certainly we've had horrible strikes with John Deere and Kellogg right now that have created great supply chain issues. So I understand people's concern. But labor unions force a table conversation.
Sales on this. Let's see if Aussie. Yeah, up, down. More than enough, like you see, but I'm only looking for that 800 again. Not being greedy. And again, you can wait for the RSI to confirm the sell, which would be me, could be in just getting into the neutral zone or the other side of it. That's your decision, your risk management. Oil now, we're $50 up now on oil at the moment. Might get ready to end that trade.
I mean, talk about that's really pretty cool because that's
Didn't take that long, did it? Only like 27 minutes. So we're £30 up, which is about $45, $50 on oil. You see, look, it's coming to our trend line, which is what we said. Gone green, RSI 57. So we'll get ready to end this trade, I think. And I'm going to do it now. There we go, 22.65, 22.65. So about $70. There you go, that'll do. $70 in 26 minutes. That's still not bad. Slow scalping, but that is. Could hold it longer, but I want to focus on Aussie and stuff and everything. So Yeah, it could have pushed up a little bit more, might reject, it might break. I mean, again, if it breaks this trend line, guess what we're doing? We'll take another buy. You know, but initially we're going to hit our trend line. You've got to respect these trend lines. It could just range for another hour or so, at which point I'll be falling asleep. So, but look, we've got a win. We've got a nice win on the buy, all based on the news. You know, this just shows you how sometimes just take your time. Got it was 22.66 in the end, 45. So. Just these are bonus trades at nice. So we've got the Aussie in a minute. 1 minute to the Aussie Open. Let's have a look at else in Asian session. It's 30. Nikkei is under pressure as well. JP225, but because of the economic news, I'd just avoid that tonight. And again, we're looking at a pullback from here. Look, a support zone, a resistance zone, so this could pull back. Yeah, here would be my TP. But he's just got to be sensible and think, well, this news is going to come out. You know, yeah, it could move before then, it might not, and then you're stuck in a trade. So on this one, I'd be looking for sells. I'll leave that one alone. And let's look at CRUDE. Say is up, then daily is meant to be dropping. It's not at the moment. News. Let's look at the China 50, one of our favourites. Go. Let's have a look at the chart. Yeah, I always look at the patterns. Look, W's. So we'll pick up the pattern. RSI is looking quite bullish at the moment. It's on a resistance zone. Momentum is to the upside though, it's pretty good, so get a push up to our breakout zone here of 60 points.
Innovation, money, and power collide in Silicon Valley and beyond. This is Bloomberg Technology with Emily Chang.
I'm going for this.
I'm Emily Chang in San Francisco, and this is Bloomberg Technology. Coming up in the next hour, Intel revs up plans to spin off its Mobileye in a move that could generate billions for the lagging chip maker. Is there a catch? We'll discuss. Plus, Instagram responds to the outcry over teen safety, offering new tools to limit screen time and nudge users.
Well, it's been a pleasure joining you from the great state of Texas today. I'll be in Florida tomorrow, and I'll catch you up for some late scalping or early scalping, whichever one you're going to do.
Yeah, perfect. No, thanks for joining, keeping me company. We've had a good day, and stay safe as always. And yeah, I'll drop you a message, and we'll go live at some point tomorrow. I'm just going to do these trades and then end the session. But thanks for joining me tonight. It's been great.
Right on, brother. Just let me know, and I'll hop in with you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you in sunny Florida. Take care, bro.
Yes, sir, brother. Take care.
Yeah, and tech was really at the heart of that. A lot of risk appetite. The Nasdaq 100, you said, jumping the most since March, up 3%. It was pretty broad-based, though. We saw.
So we're just looking at buys on China 50, and finally, Hang Seng. So look, we normally do, you know, people put pending orders in. I've set up a couple of pending orders which I don't really like doing. I do across the Asian session because obviously I'm sleeping. If I'm doing this live, then obviously I'm waiting for an RSI confirmation on all these trades and price action. Again, Hang Seng is looking very bullish. Looking to pull back to our breakout zone here, but I'm not going to be greedy. You want to be getting out. I mean, we've got great levels of EPs here. Look at that. The baseline is number 1, and then here is number 2, then here is number 3. To be, but at the moment, look, RSI is ditching down, so there's no buys at the moment. But this is what I would be thinking at some point.
Looking to 55,000, but hard to know where we go from that point. Of course, some really important corporate stories on Tuesday in the equity space, and these were some of the stocks starting with Peloton announcing a new boxing fast product, but it wasn't much of a knockout for investors. It was one of only 12 stocks down on the NASDAQ 100. Apple up 3.5%, a fresh record high, heading towards
Hong Kong 50.
That was after Morgan Stanley gave
And that could be going to be 40 points.
really pricing in much love for future products like augmented reality and even an Apple car. And finally, Intel, you talked about in the intro, up 3%, at one point up 7%, the most since January. It's going to spin off
Posting that in the group.
driving unit, but also retain a significant stake. Interesting to see what it means for that company, Emily.
All right.
At the moment, it's way down.
As Ed just mentioned, the company planning to take its Mobileye self-driving car unit.
What we're doing on broker with it. See markets. Hong Kong 50.
Bought Mobileye back in 2017 for about $15 billion, and since then the unit has consistently grown faster than its parent.
Good. Right. So we're all set.
So Dan, how big do you
Everything's set at the moment.
Well, I think the momentum in this particular space, Emily, is tremendous. We've seen the valuations that have gone into some of these AV startups that don't even have revenue. Lucid sits at a $72 billion market cap right now. Rivian over $100 billion. And then Intel in its entirety is at $213 billion. So we're seeing numbers like
Some of my positions, and that's looking good. So, yeah. Oil, as I said, look, hit the trend line. That's all we wanted. Again, if you're watching this, if you're part of the group or whatever, part of my team, and obviously guys who are trading this, you want to take a buy once the trend line is broken. And obviously if trend line breaks, but if it breaks below this trend line, you take a sell down to this EP here. So simple, just sit and wait. If you want to trade oil tonight, this is a good setup. Hong Kong 50, as I've said, we're ideally taking buys, but at the moment, if this goes into our oversold zone, you'll take a sell. If it bounces off here, you'll come back to the buy. If it breaks trend line, a buy, and we're 1, 2, 3 TP levels. Aussie 200, like I say, when this kicks off, I'm looking for sales on this as well. And on the China 50, we were looking for the buys to the next level. Was there, the breakout zone. There you go, I'm going to switch that back to Aussie. Going to watch a bit of the charts, answer any questions from the team in the group. And this has been a nice little live stream, just a quick 1 hour, just a late night session. We're going to do some more of these this week and catch a few more people. And I like doing this kind of dead zone trading, just to show that you can scalp with the Axe trading system on a 3-minute time frame in between sessions and still win. As you say, we just took a nice little win there on oil, nothing major, but $65. $70 is for 20 minutes of trading. It's perfect. Do that 3-4 times a day. It's a day's wage. It can be done, and we've more than done that, because like I say, that's my 30 trades I've done today. And you just got to know what to expect from each session you decide to trade in.
They have assets. It's not just the semiconductors, which, as I mentioned, by 2030 could make up about 20% of the materials for a vehicle. But you're talking about a company that shipped 100 million of their IQ chips. They're already in many of the well-known automotive technologies. They're doing robo-taxi. Their technologies can be adopted by the OEMs. So competition, of course, from Qualcomm, competition from NVIDIA, and of course the companies like Tesla that are building their own. But there is a huge market to address here of legacy and upcoming EV and EV manufacturers that are looking for the technology that is available today at the L2+, L3. But as we move into level 4 and level 5 full self-driving, that's going to be something that Mobileye will be well prepared to deliver solutions on. And this will give more attention, and of course this gives investors the opportunity to go directly towards investing in that asset, which, as we've seen, the prices in the market is something investors, both institutional and retail, are very interested in.
Well, it certainly sounds like a massive deal. Or that
So if you like what we do, obviously hit that like button, give us a like, give us a share, tell people about the team, the group, the YouTube channel. Just a small channel, we're just trying to grow it one step at a time. Love trading this way, been doing it for 3 years now, you know, so at least maybe 4 now. So I just want to continue doing this and showing people how you can earn some money by true scalping, and it isn't as panicky or as crazy as what other people will lead you to believe. If you've got the right mentorship in place, you're looking at fundamentals as well as TA. It's that combination of the 70-80% of fundamentals that make a big difference when scalping on a small time frame. Otherwise you are at the mercy of, you know, just TA for one minute time frames, 5 minutes. It is dangerous. You need to have some kind of push that the fundamentals, be it official releases, news on Sky, news on Bloomberg, that's the kind of thing we need to trade.
Why we design ETFs to unleash the potential in investors so they can pursue their goals, no matter how ambitious.
So thank you, Bloomberg, for tonight, for keeping me entertained. Like I say, you know, oil is coming to a standstill as you expect now. Watch out for these Asian setups. Watch out for crypto. Basically, stay safe, everybody, and thank you again. It's our second live stream of the day, and join me on the next live stream. We'll try and do one tomorrow. So, and like I say, if you subscribe, you'll find out when I go live next. Until then, have a good evening. Night from London, and take care, everybody. See you soon.